New this morning, a Russian court has upheld U.S. basketball star Brittney Griner's conviction for smuggling drugs in the country. Her 9-year prison sentence may be slightly decreased for time spent in custody. It's unclear, though, just how much it could be reduced. Before the judge's ruling, Griner apologized for what she called her mistake.
I've been here almost 8 months, and people with more severe crimes have gotten less than what I was given. I want to also apologize for this mistake. I said in my first court that yes, I plead guilty. I did not intend to do this, but I understand the charges brought against me, and I just hope that that is also taken into account.
Joining me now, State Department spokesperson Ned Price. Ned, good to see you this morning. Jake Sullivan saying in a statement that you've continued to engage with Russia through every available channel. I know you said just as recently as yesterday the discussions are ongoing. Substantial proposals have been put forward. But based on what we saw this morning, what's next here?
Well, what we saw this morning was a reminder that this process has been a sham from the start. Today has been another sad day for justice in Russia. I use that term justice very loosely, of course, because justice has eluded this case from the start. The rule of law has eluded this case from the start. Increasingly, the rule of law is absent in Russia writ large. That's why we made the determination a number of months ago that Brittney Griner is wrongfully held, just as is Paul Whelan, another American citizen who's been held in Russia for far too long. As you alluded to, we did put forward what we called a substantial proposal a number of months ago to Russian authorities. Secretary Blinken made public the news of that substantial proposal right here in this briefing room a few months ago now. We continue to engage with the Russians. Those conversations have taken place even in recent days. This has not been a static process. We are continuing to urge them to engage and to engage seriously on this, because we want to see Paul, we want to see Brittney return to their loving families as soon as possible.
So, Ned, quickly, two points that we said. You want to see them engage seriously. Are they not engaging seriously?
Well, the fact that Paul Whelan and Brittney Griner still sit behind bars in Russia suggests to us that this process has not moved as quickly as we would like, as quickly as it would need to. We are not going to be satisfied until Paul and Brittney are home with their families. Up until now, the Russians haven't engaged in a way that we would consider serious. We want them to change that posture. We want them to engage constructively. We want them to engage on the proposal that we put forward.
I'm going to ask you sort of rapid fire because we do have a number of topics we want to get to. But I'm curious, President Biden told Jake Tapper just a couple of weeks ago that he would meet with Putin at the G20 summit next month if Putin said he wanted to talk about Griner's release. Do you have any indication from the Kremlin that that's a possibility?
Look, the president also said that he has no intention of meeting with President Putin at the G20. We've also made clear that when our interests are implicated, and of course the detention, the wrongful detention of Brittney Griner and Paul Whelan is of great interest to us, we are willing to engage. That's precisely why Secretary Blinken picked up the phone to speak to Foreign Minister Lavrov on these two cases a number of months ago, and to reiterate that substantial proposal and to suggest that the Russians engage seriously.
So I also want to get your take on the 17-year-old American citizen, Saad Ibrahim Al-Mahdi, who's being held in Saudi Arabia. He traveled there almost a year ago to visit family, was sentenced, held on 14 tweets sent over a long span of years. His son, as you know, very frustrated with how this is being handled. He told CNN he thinks it would be handled differently if his name would be in the headlines every morning had he been held in Russia or Iran. And obviously the family wants the U.S. to say, wants the State Department to say that he too is being wrongfully held. Where does that stand?
Well, I can't even begin to imagine, we can't even begin to imagine the agony that Saad Al-Mahdi is going through, that his son is going through, that his entire family is going through. We have made consistently clear to Saudi authorities that the freedom of expression should never be criminalized. The exercise of a universal right, like freedom of expression, should never be criminalized. We have engaged at the senior levels with Saudi authorities. We've done so from this building here in Washington. We've done so from our embassy in Saudi Arabia. We're continuing to support Saad. We're continuing to support his family, and we'll continue to provide every form of assistance that we can.
Is he being wrongfully detained?
This is a process. It's a process that's based on criteria that are spelled out in both law and policy. We always look at the totality of circumstances when it comes to a particular case, and we're always reviewing new information. So the book is never closed. We're engaging with the family. We're engaging with Saudi authorities, and we're going to continue to support Saad al-Mahdi and his family in every way we can.
All right, we'll continue to look for that and see what determination you come to. Before I let you go, I do want to get your take on Ukraine. 30 Democrats yesterday putting out this letter, which I know they clarified afterwards, but calling on the administration to pursue diplomatic negotiations with Russia to end the war in Ukraine. I know you've said for diplomacy to work, both parties need to be engaged here, but are you concerned about erosion when it comes to support for Ukraine on both sides of the aisle moving forward?
Look, one of the most effective pillars of our approach to Ukraine has been the fact that we've enjoyed bipartisan support from Congress over the course of the better part of a year now. It has been bipartisan support that has allowed us to provide billions of dollars, some $17 billion in security assistance to Ukraine since the start of Russia's invasion, more than $8 billion in economic assistance since the start of Russia's invasion. We are confident that bipartisan support will continue. When it comes to diplomacy, no one wants to see an end to this war more than our Ukrainian partners. And our Ukrainian partners, including President Zelensky, have made clear that this war can only end through diplomacy and dialogue. The Ukrainians have repeatedly made that clear. Unfortunately, as you alluded to, it takes two to engage in dialogue. We have never heard a reciprocal message from the Russians that they are ready to engage in the sort of dialogue and diplomacy that will need to end this war. Ultimately, that is going to have to be diplomacy between Ukraine and Russia. In the meantime, we are there to support Ukraine. We're going to empower them on the battlefield that ultimately will empower them at the negotiating table if and when that develops. And when that negotiating table emerges, we will be right there with Ukraine as they engage in that diplomacy.
Ned Price, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.